Hello everyone. So I want to do an episode today that's a little bit different, okay? So I did some research for something that I'm creating, and I have come up with 20 untapped Etsy niches and product ideas that I'm seeing are getting a lot of engagement and have low competition. So I thought I would just do a video. It's not scripted. It's just, I don't have bullet points. I just literally have my research notes in front of me. So bear with me because I'm going to be running through them. I'm going to be sharing with you the niche, why it stands out, and some product ideas along with you as well. There's 20 in total. So settle in. And also just a side note to say, is that it depends on when you are watching this. So as of recording this, these are untapped. But, you know, as time goes on, these niches are going to get filled. All right. The second thing is that obviously, if you have a shop and you like the idea of one of these niches, please make sure it fits in with your target audience if you are going to take advantage of it. Because the sad fact is that if you are someone like me who has ADHD, the shiny object syndrome is real. And what I don't want the outcome of this video to be is you then start up another 2 more shops, get burnt out and burn everything down within 6 months. That's not what I want you to do. However, if you do want to stand out on Etsy, especially without blending in, these are genuinely untapped micro niches to help your shop shine for 2026. Because honestly, I do feel like these are niches that we're not going to see filled for a long, long time. Okay. So let's get into it. So number 1 is the memorial and grief support gifts. Okay. So why this stands out is that it has that deep emotional need and it also has low competition. When I sold jewelry, this was something that has been a untapped niche for a long time. So we're talking things like engraved urn jewelry, custom memory photo ornaments, all those kinds of things. Really, most handmade businesses that are watching this, you can incorporate this into your product catalog in some way, shape or form. So if you do use eRank or Marmalade or Keywords Everywhere or any kind of keyword research tool, whether you just use Pinterest and the blimmin' Etsy search bar, let's be honest, like whatever you use is fine. If you just type in memorial and grief support gifts, you're going to see exactly what I mean. And also do some Google research on this as well, because there is going to be some kind of product idea lurking within that in some way, shape or form. Okay, so just have a little look, keep an open mind, but that seems to be literally the number 1 niche that I saw that was untapped, that people are desperately looking for products to fill. Okay. The second one is adaptive clothing and accessories. So this is a huge underserved market with a serious buyer need. So we're talking things like magnetic wrap shirts, sensory friendly beanies. So I have like a sensory thing where I can only wear soft dresses. That is, to be honest, why you see me wear the same things over and over and over again, because I do find it hard. If something's got a scratchy fabric or it's like a nylon coat, it literally makes my bones dance. So to have sensory friendly things, I am not seeing a lot of people doing this. And let's be honest, I feel as if it's because a lot of the pod stuff is not sensory friendly, or it's quite scratchy, or it's quite rough. So I feel like the reason why this is underserved is because if you do pod, you've only got a limited range of the things that you can stock. Whereas if you create it yourself, you can make it softer, you can make it tighter or looser or whatever people need. So just have a little look into it, because I did not see a lot that catered to this niche. The third thing is gear for niche sports. I'm not talking like golf or like football or whatever, but I'm talking like hyper specific sports with devoted communities. So things like custom pickleball paddle covers or roller derby helmet decals and stuff like that. Like really specific, but sports that have devoted community. So what I'd recommend for this is have a little look on the Facebook groups at the really obscure sports. And I believe there's also going to be groups that are like weird sports or obscure sports that you can actually just get into, have a little scroll through and see what weird sports people do. But there is a lot of stuff that caters towards like soccer, football, golf, I don't know, whatever, go-karting, but there isn't really a lot for the really obscure, kind of a little bit off-piste sports. So try that. Number 4 is cultural event decor. So things like festive yet niche cultural items that are rare. So Diwali lantern kits, Orthodox Easter egg wraps, those kinds of things where people want to search for those things, but there's really just not a lot out there. And I think it just comes down to maybe awareness of like people are looking for this type of thing. So just do a little bit of research and see, okay, what are some possible things that I could create here? Number 5 is teacher self-care gifts. There are a lot of teachers in my audience and God knows they need some self-care. So we're talking highly giftable with a gratitude angle. So things like burnout kits, desk macrame, however you say it, inspirational art, all those kinds of things. Like we're not talking we're going to buy a tin of celebrations for your teacher anymore. Like we're really talking about like getting your teacher a gift that makes them go, yes, that's what I needed. Number six, which is something that I look for, is plant parenting accessories. It's a trending hobby. It has been for about 2-3 years, ever since COVID. I mean, we're not 2-3 years out from COVID now, but I feel like ever since COVID, people have got these house plants now, and they're like, "Ooh, it's growing," or it's got a seedling, or it's got a baby, and people are like really into it. I am that person. I had like no house plants. Then COVID hit, and I was like, house plants. I ordered a bunch, and now I love them. And like I said, it is a trending hobby. It is a growing interest. So I'm talking things like propagation station kits or laser cut plant markers and all those kinds of things. Like really try and be creative here. Plant parenting accessories. So I actually bought like little, sounds very sad. Okay. I do appreciate that. Little like plant name kits where you can name your plants, like put a stake in its pot so that, you know, you name it. I do name my plants. Sorry, not sorry. But I actually bought a kit because I thought it's so cute. I love it. And it just gives my plants a little bit of a personality kick. Do not judge me. So, number 7 is board game accessories. Now we need to make sure we are not doing the whole IP infringement thing. You can't use trademark board game names in your titles, anything, any descriptions, anything within your listings at all. Okay. But what I did see is that there is a dedicated audience and low saturation, meaning not a lot of people are actually doing this. So we're talking things like custom meeples, whatever that is. I didn't actually Google that. Let me Google that now. I don't know what meeples are. I'm just getting a Google tab up. Meeples, a stylized wooden shaped playing piece. Oh, I see. So like people, but me. Oh, okay. Well, you learn something new every day. But custom meeples, handmade dice tower, dice bags, all those kinds of things. They do have a loyal fan base, and I don't feel like it's a niche that's being tapped into enough. Number 8 is exotic pet enrichment toys. I love this. I think this is so adorable. We're talking rare products for passionate pet owners. So parrot foraging toys, hedgehog cuddle sacks, all those kinds of things. So number 9 is travel themed homewares. I know. So sentimental value and rewatchable buyers is what I've written down here. So we're talking things like city skyline coasters. My God. Custom passport covers, all those types of things, right? Number 10 is themed wedding items. So this I found had engaged buyers and an opportunity to have a high margin. Now, don't get me wrong, wedding is a saturated niche in and of itself, but if it's highly themed, I found that really catered to long tail keywords and like really specific searches. So we're talking things like Gothic unity candles, sci-fi cake toppers, and all those kinds of things. You also want to make sure that, again, you're not doing the IP infringement thing. So you can't be like Star Wars cake toppers, because your shop will get a warning. It may get closed down. We all know this by now. If you don't, I have a couple of videos on my channel talking about IP infringement and what you can do, what you can't do, all that kind of stuff. So if you just search IP infringement or copyright or something like that on my channel, you'll find it. But we really want to look at catering towards those people who are planning weddings who want something a little bit different, apart from like, you know, the little people on top of the cakes, or like flowers, and, you know, something that's a little bit different. I even saw a Lego bouquet, and it had like all the different characters of all their favorite shows in there. It was really, really cool. Number 11 is kids milestone keepsakes. Now, this is an emotional purchase with a repeat potential, depending on how you do it. So we are talking first tooth boxes, and also handwritten memorial jewelry. So I used to do the handwritten jewelry side of things, and it sold like hotcakes, because people love the idea of their kid drawing a picture and then getting it printed on a pendant. So that is definitely a really cool thing to do. And it is something that has that high emotional purchase, therefore less likely for people to question the price. So it's also something that has a high margin potential. Number 12 is van life / tiny home solutions. So it has a very strong niche of mobile living creators. There are so many that have cropped up in the last 2 years that are like tiny home creators or influencers, or people that are like documenting their life. They've given up everything in like London and gone and bought a tiny home on wheels, and they wheel it around the country. Really cool, in my opinion. I wish I could do that. But, you know, there's a strong community there, and I think it's so severely underserved. So we're talking things like magnetic spice racks, foldable organizers, but all very specific to van life, tiny home. My mum and dad are actually converting a van into a camper van. They are very excited about it. But they are looking for stuff like really tiny, small things that does make it feel like a big home, but in a smaller space. So any way that we can kind of incorporate that into our product, it's a big deal. Number 13 is career-specific digital planners. So I actually found in the downloadable space, I found an untapped niche, which is quite rare because, as we know, digital products have exploded, especially on Etsy. And with the introduction of AI and ChatGPT, it seems like everyone is trying to push the whole, you can make 6 figures a month with the digital products. And let's be honest, it's very, very difficult because everyone is trying to break into that space. Everyone's churning out digital products, and there is not a lot in the terms of untapped, niches when it comes to the downloadable space, because of AI, because of people absolutely trawling and shoving a bunch of products on there. And if you don't believe me, go onto Etsy and have a look for yourself. Like jewelry, t-shirts, candles compared to downloadable products, and you will see what I mean. Okay, there are a lot of the same when it comes to downloadable products, but career-specific digital planners seems to be it. So we're talking flexible digital niche, underdeveloped, and we're really looking at salon owner or organizer, for example, or homeschool teacher planner. So they are some things that I did see on my virtual travels, and yeah, it's definitely something where you need to get very specific, but you will have people knocking down your door because there is not a lot of sellers that really know too much about those specific careers, but also understand what those people need within a planner or product or whatever. Number 14 is upcycled luxury accessories. So a big but here. I nearly didn't include this because I thought, the IP infringement is going to go wild here. But I wanted to include it because I really wanted to kind of give you guys the opportunity to be able to research this yourself. It is a bit of a tricky one because if you have a Louis Vuitton bag, you aren't going to be able to list it under Louis Vuitton bag. You're just not, because of IP infringement, copyright, blah, blah, blah. But it's worth you researching it and having a little look, because I truly feel like it will inspire you to do other things in a very similar way. So this has kind of really sparked off of the whole sustainability approach. So some things I saw was LV fabric scrap earrings, vintage scarf collars. If you do vintage, like, and you don't mention the brand name, you would have to look into it, but I think that might be okay. But one thing I saw was just like painted bags, painted shoes, painted bangles, things that are not just what they are, but there's additionals to it. They're painted on, they are truly unique. So I think this really sparks the whole thing of like unique accessories rather than just your average leather bag or earrings or whatever, you know. Number 15 is gaming streamer merch. I actually really like watching gaming streams. There's this particular guy that I watch almost every night. It's just my kind of wind down, going to sleep thing. I only watch for about five minutes, but it's so relaxing. And I must say that he himself, and also others that I've seen as well, they have loyal communities with a fan-driven loyalty behind them. So we are talking like streamer icon mugs, themed neon signs, like things for people that are setting up a game room to stream or to, you know, kind of start their own thing. So that was definitely something. I do feel like there are a lot of streamers that are starting up, and is it necessarily going to be a niche in like 6 months' time? I don't really know, but it's something that I did see pop up over and over again, so I thought I would mention it. Number 16 is zero waste party supplies. I love this because as a 90s kid, I remember the amount of, and it sends me chills down my spine, the amount of waste that there used to be for like one child's birthday party. It's ridiculous, the amount of stuff that we are chucking away. And I think this niche plays into eco concerns and the fact that you still want to celebrate, you still want to do something fun. So we're talking like compostable confetti packs, fabric bunting sets, recycled things, all those kinds of stuff. Number 17 is custom artist tools. So niche hobbyist audience here. But some products examples are laser etched pottery tools and printed squeegees. That's a really funny word, squeegee. I don't know why. It just makes me internally chuckle. But really kind of like it's really like personalizing the tools. I feel like, which personalization has been a thing for a long, long time. Number 18, because I'm aware that this video is going to be very, very long. Number 18 is Book Nook diorama kits. I've done about five of these, no joke. Yeah, I've done about 5 of these Book Nook diorama kits. And normally I just buy them from like Amazon, and I love doing them. They're so simple. You feel like you've created something, but you don't have to use a lot of your brain power. I love them. And it's desk decor or bookshelf decor for my thing. It's got some kind of story behind it. It's a conversation piece. It makes your home stand out, you know. So things like tiny fairy library scenes, DIY bookshelf backdrops. And what I would personally love to see is more people, because, you know, I have to buy them on Amazon right now because there's not enough people creating diorama kits. And this would be amazing if you had like a laser woodcutter or like a 3D printer or something like that. But just to allow people to create a diorama for themselves. So something like a library, or for me, I love the Japanese ones because that's very my style. And every time I see one, I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy that one. I'm going to do that later. I think I've still got about 4 kits like under my bed that I need to do. But I would love it if there was more of like a handmade aspect to that, which I don't feel like there is. Number 19 is custom music accessories. So again, a bit like the artist thing, it's a deep personalization in a niche market. So we're talking engraved guitar picks, woven ukulele straps, a lot of all that kind of stuff. And the last one is mid-century pet furniture. Who knew? And this is for those people who love design and they love their pets. And I must say, like, when it comes to dog beds, it's kind of uninspiring. It's either like a blue one or a pink one or a cream one or a grey one. And that's pretty much the only options that you have. But what I saw was Parsons style cat towers and walnut modern pet beds. So yeah, it's definitely something that I did see that people were searching for, but there just wasn't a lot really being made. So your homework is, I want you to make some notes on, even if you have to watch it back again or listen to it back again, I want you to make some notes and choose a niche from that list and sketch a couple of products out. Now, only if it fits in with your target audience. Like I said, we don't want to create some weird and wonderful thing that you're like, does this fit in with anything? The answer is no, leave it alone. But I would love for you to tag me in a story, in a reel, if you are sketching some things out, if you are creating some things based off of this podcast / video, and just let me know like how you're going to be using the niches, because it will be really interesting for me to kind of see how you guys respond to this. But thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you same time, same place next week for another episode of the How to Be a Handmade Boss show. Bye everyone.